Um, today is going to be a Dr. Jeff special today. I think today is going to be our last day of working on the voice agent system. Really what we're going to do today when we get to it is add, so far we've been doing text to speech and really kind of pointing out that we can use this SSML functionality that creates more natural sounding speech, I feel like. But then today what we're going to do is add functionality for speech to text. And so we'll use DeepGram for their speech to text capabilities. And then, we'll be able to see when I talk, it'll be able to translate what I'm saying into text. And then the last step will be we'll string it all together and have it so that the speech gets turned into text, and then that will probably feed into, currently we have a script writer, but we'll modify that script writer to, instead of being based on like podcast script ideas or whatever, it's going to base its response on my input from speech to text. And then, as I've already, if you've been on some of the other coaching calls, I can already tell you there's going to almost definitely be a little bit of troubleshooting. Hopefully we can get through it pretty quickly around speaker and microphone access. That's one of the things that typically pops up. Maybe we will just get through it unscathed, and I'll see if I can prompt the system. I think maybe that's what we'll do, is prompt Claude to give us a diagnostic test for the speaker and for the microphone connection, so that maybe we can move through that faster than typically. But I've run into that before. It's really just, once you start, if you're running code, and it's just on your machine, cool. I mean, this is still on my machine. Once it starts using some of the, what would you say? I don't know, these are tools, things you connect to your computer, it can get a little bit dicey. Justin, you're right. I definitely do recognize you better when you have your camera on. Cool. AI news. Any interesting AI news? I'm still seeing people talking about the Higgs field deep fake generator, essentially, but face replace. I wonder if it is, if anybody's tested it out, if it's that good that it deserves all of this, I don't know, interest. But, it's interesting. I keep on seeing people talk about how it's getting crazy out there. You're not going to be able to trust any videos or anything. And maybe I am naive to this. I don't feel like I'm running into that issue, right? Like, I don't feel like I'm running currently into the problem where I see videos and I'm like, oh my God, did Donald Trump really fly an airplane and drop a bunch of excrement on, protesters? It's like, no, I knew that was fake, right? Or any of these, like, what's up?
He should do that, but
we're not typical on these calls.
Maybe we can talk about religion next.
Yeah, religion, and then, well, we could also bring up the X-rated topics, which also come up sometimes when we talk about image generation. So we'll hit on all the fun stuff today. But no, I think that there is this worry of, these deep fakes are going to fool people, but at least for me, I mean, I think a lot of times when it's too crazy to believe, then I don't believe it, right? And then also, if something is on, CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, whatever, like a reputable news source, they, at least for now, are verifying that, the video clips they're getting are real, that they come from a legitimate source and are backing them. So I don't know if we are going, like, I mean, obviously, I think for some of us, our parents are getting, fooled by some of these clips, like, oh my God, did you see what just happened? And it's like, yeah, well, I mean, you can't just trust everything on the internet. I think we've known that for a while. So we'll see where this whole thing goes, but I wonder if this is something that we worry about. And then
I know the banks are worrying about it. I actually put a link. I posted a LinkedIn article about it. That cybersecurity has increased like 277% because of deep fakes.
Oh, like because they're using facial recognition to,
Mhm.
or interesting. Yeah, that should be. And I think I think you make a good point, which is like, and this I feel like happens a lot with technology, where it's like, oh, you think this most obvious reason is what's going to be the problem, and it's like, no, it's a completely different thing that's actually the problem, right?
Yeah, I
Where you think it's going to be people believing deep fakes, and it's like, no, it's actually a security concern.
right, right. Like I think cybersecurity in the age of AI is also going to be a booming business in itself.
Yeah, but I'm already seeing this where I think I talked about this recently. So I was consulting with a company and they do Google Ads, right? And so right now there is basically an AI battle that's going on with Google Ads, and it's AI on top of AI on top of AI, where the spammers, or the, I guess, I don't know what you would call them, but they're not hackers really, but people who are basically like, if you have a Google ad, what they'll do is they'll just run up your Google ad account by using AI and automation to click on your ad, go to your forms and fill them out with nonsense. And so now you're paying for, not only are you paying for Google ads to, be used by, or like to really only advertise to spammers who you're looking for. Now they're in your algorithm, and now that's who Google Ads is serving your ads to, is these spammers, because they're the ones who are clicking on your ads the most, right?
So petty, so petty.
Right. And then the solution is, of course, AI, right? Is that now is using AI and being able to detect things like, how fast are they filling out the form? Are they instantaneously filling out the form? What are the characteristics of their mouse movements? And then there's other things that aren't necessarily AI, recognize. There's like a registry of IP addresses from these spam farms and things like that. But then, putting them all together to use a weighing system or like a scoring system that AI can use. So it is going to just be just sort of more ways for us to get charged for things, essentially, right? Where it's like, well, if you want to survive in this AI world where there's negative AI forces, you need powerful AI weapons to basically go up against them. And it's interesting, though. I think that it's weird, not weird though. I think when the last time I talked about this, it's strange that Google isn't doing more about this. That they don't have like a spam protection AI suite within their functionality. I guess potentially the reasoning is that directly it does not affect their bottom line, right? They're charging you for the ads regardless of whether or not a spammer is the one interacting with it, or if they're not the ones interacting with it. However, long term, people, I know I got turned off of Google Ads when I tried to use it about a year or two ago, and I basically ran into the same problem where it's just like, oh wow, this is just a bunch of spammers who are using this. Like, I'm not actually getting any solutions. And that's when I started to look into techniques to stop that. And I was like, well, this is a whole bunch of other work I need to do on top of paying Google Ads. Like, I don't know, is this worthwhile for me right now?
Sounds like a power vacuum. I think we're going to need a AI mafia to kind of come in and hey, you like your web traffic?
Oh yeah.
You're going to pay us this much amount of money, and we're going to make sure it's taken care of.
Yeah. Like AI protection plan, and then hopefully it doesn't get nefarious where it's like, oh, it looks like you've been getting a lot of spam lately. I wonder where that's coming for. I could fix that for you, for a price. But I mean, this is another aspect of when they say AI is going to replace a bunch of jobs. It's like, yeah, AI is going to create a lot of jobs also. Like, you can't just project forward our current level of technology and productivity and like quality of life and be like, well, look, if everything remains the same and then AI does all this work, then what's everyone else going to do? And it's like, well, the world's going to be different, and there's going to be different jobs, and then there's going to be different work. We definitely are seeing some growing pains now when you look at Amazon had their layoffs. Salesforce had their layoffs. Other companies are going to have their layoffs. And I do not want to make light. I think it sounds terrible to just be like, well, there's 250 or 300 million people in America, right? So like 60,000 workers getting laid off is not even a drop in the bucket, right? Like it's not really a big deal because those 60,000 people have families and the holidays are coming and that sucks. But
I wrote an article about this today.
Yeah.
That Walmart's kind of bucking the trend.
What do you mean?
They're not firing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're training their staff in AI, and they're not getting rid of them.
Yeah, and I think that is something that other companies can do and can follow suit with. And I mean, this doesn't need to be, I guess, hopefully this isn't political. Maybe this is just economical. Amazon, not known for their amazing employment practices up and down the line. They've also have had complaints against how they treat their factory workers or their warehouse workers and things like that. And so there will be examples of companies who use AI in a way that seems maybe not great for their employees, but then, as Justin's pointing out, really another solution is train your employees in using AI, provide better services for your customers, and possibly grow your business, right? Increase your market share, do things like that, instead of, oh, okay, here, we could do the same thing with less workers. It's like, well, what if you could do more with the same amount of workers?
Right. 100% of their staff using and working with AI on a daily basis. He also said AI isn't coming for your job.
Yeah.
It's coming for the jobs of those who refuse to adopt it.
AI is not coming for your job. Somebody using AI is just coming for your job.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so we have a couple of new people in the chat. I really feel like Nirvana Williams, this has to be your first time in a coaching call that I've been on, because I'm very sure I would remember a Nirvana Williams. If you want, turn on your mic or say hello in the chat. Let us know what brings you to AI Profit Boardroom into the coaching calls, if you want. Going once, going twice. Well,
that was funny.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, let's hear it.
Yes, this is my first time, so I've joined the group, but I haven't had the opportunity to come to one of the calls. I'm also a full-time pharmacy student, so.
Oh.
But I joined this group because a couple years ago, I decided to venture out into entrepreneurship. I have a consultant business, and I'm kind of wanting to take AI to the next level with some of the companies that I work with, or target some of the small businesses. So I'm just trying to build on my knowledge to transfer it to other people. So that's
for sure. Well, I'll tell you, so many companies need AI adoption and integration. Most of them don't know where to start. So just by having some level of confidence that you know what you're doing, and then at least an initial amount of understanding more than they have, can get your foot in the door and then start moving things along. Sometimes what you'll find, especially if you're already doing consulting, is that there are companies that are looking for AI solutions, and then when you look under the hood, it's like, oh yeah, you don't even need AI solutions, you just need solutions. Before we even get to the AI, we need to set up all of this other software for you to use, and then we can connect AI to that software, but you're not even using the solutions that are out there already. So you're a pharmacological student, and then are you doing consulting in the healthcare field, or is it completely separate?
So I have over 20 years in pharmaceutical and medical device quality and project management. Okay. So I decided to go to pharmacy school to just have the best of both worlds. So I'm a doctor of pharmacy candidate.
Oh, wow.
But I want to take the pharmacy degree back into the industry and do more from the consulting side. Kind of be the go-between between what's on the market and the manufacturer, because that's what I know is the manufacturing side of things, but the clinical side would make me be more the middleman in between the two. The clinical person and the manufacturer, if that makes sense. So the whole consulting thing is just me taking my experience and just seeing what I can do with it for myself, because I help start up a lot of companies as my career, but I just want to, instead of working for somebody else, now I'm just doing it for myself, right? So if it's a small company that's startup or already in startup phase, and they say, okay, if they call on me for help, then this is where I can help automate some of these processes, implement AI, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm already going in setting these companies up anyway with processes, procedures, and other protocols. So when I'm talking to them just with the traditional standards, now I can also say, well, okay, what have you ever thought about AI automation? Or do you think this could be something that will work for your organization? So that's kind of how I'm trying to fit it into everything else that I have done. Kind of what I do in my spare time, if that makes sense.
No, for sure. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think that you are definitely positioning yourself really well, right? There's a lot of money in pharmaceuticals, right? And you have that experience, and then now you're going to have that degree. And then, again, I think that we have a lot of time to, I feel, it feels like AI is going so fast, and maybe you're already behind, but really so many companies are behind, and even the ones that have started AI integration are not even doing it well. And so there's a lot of opportunity there for people who've already started the first wave of AI automation and it's not working out for them, and then it's like, no, like here's the way to do it actually right. And like, I think looking at it from the perspective that you already have, where this is what you want to do, like these are the solutions you're looking for, let's have AI help, instead of just here, let's just bring in AI to just do stuff and not even really think about the end user or the goals or the KPIs or anything like that.
That too, and with me having a strong base with smaller family-owned type companies, I work in larger companies as well, but my target for my business is smaller family-owned type companies who don't necessarily have the luxury of saying, if they're Johnson & Johnson or Pfizer can hire 20 people, we have to have 5 to be diverse in multiple roles. So those are the companies that I'm targeting first.
I firmly believe that SMBs are actually going to be the leaders in AI, because the bigger companies are just too big. They're too big. They're too risk adverse. I have too many people that are decision making who have no idea what they're doing, right? And who want to drive initiatives or slow things down. They're used to, I've worked with
6 months, look at your proposal, another year to decide on it. It's not worth it.
Yep. No, I was doing a workshop for I think I've talked about this before, this university hospital, and they said they want to be a leader in AI. And if you looked at the speed at which they're going, it's like, oh, we have like this 6-year plan to implement Gen AI. And I'm like, 6-year plan? Like, I mean, none of the technology that we're using right now is going to be the same in 6 years. This doesn't make any sense. And like, everything is like on these 9-month, tranches. And I'm like, you guys are not going to be the leader. Like, this is not going to, maybe they will actually, that's as fast as those systems go. And so they are going to be a quote unquote leader, but I just feel like they're just going to fall farther and farther behind. But then, I mean, that's the thing, though. I feel like if you look at some of these different, like the government, right? Like, to be a leading government agency that's using AI, probably you're using AI from 20 years ago, right? If you look at how, like, at least you're not using the dot matrix printers and you're not faxing people things, that makes you a leader. But yeah, I feel like having an organization that's a little bit more risk tolerant, that doesn't have so much bureaucracy, that's willing to be agile and try new things out, without having to over-engineer solutions, you could probably find some really cool use cases and then pass those on to your other clients. Cool. I think I only see one other new person, and then we are going to work. Oh no, there's 2. I'll try to do my best. Asif, are you new to? Hi.
Yes, hello. Hi. Yes, I'm new, rather. I've been part of the boardroom for about a month or so.
Okay.
And recently I've been posting some posts, a little bit more interested in getting some feedback from the community, you know? So I guess my quick intro would be I come from a development world, technical world. I'm a mobile app developer by profession, but now I'm looking into starting an AI consultancy firm. So here I am. This is my first time I'm attending this call. I didn't know. I'm not sure if I should be expecting Goldie to be part of the call here every time, or I don't know how the format works. But here I am.
Okay, I'll be here. I'm typically I'm here Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. I do the coaching, and then he's doing more of the content generation and running everything. But I will say that I myself am an AI consultant, and so it seems like we're getting more and more consultants on the call. And again, like another example of how AI is creating new jobs, right? Like there didn't used to be so much AI consulting. And then one tip I have for all of my potential or active AI consultants is, the people that you're working with are not going to be very AI literate in general. Like we get used to the techniques that we all learn and that we're interested in. I am always like slightly shocked when I start working with a new company. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot you guys have no idea how AI works. Like I've got to really take a step back here, and you need to ease them in. I used to put together this AI questionnaire that I would give them to fill out themselves. It was the worst idea. Maybe not the worst idea I've ever come up with. I've got some pretty bad ideas. But these companies are very busy and they don't know how to fill out these questionnaires. And then they start to feel guilty that they haven't filled it out. It slows everything down. So what I started to do is I have the questionnaire, and then it's like, oh, well, it'd be faster if they filled it out and we could talk about it in the meeting. It's like, no, we might as well just talk about it in the meeting. And it is on us to keep things moving without being annoying or badgering. They are a lot of times going to go slower than you think. And so it is up to us to maintain forward momentum and possibly like give them some space and then just check in with them a month later or something like that. But, it seems like, hey, this is great technology. This is really going to help out your company. You guys should really adopt it. But at the same time, companies, even the ones that are interested, tend to, they've never done this before. And when somebody has never done something before, they just get apprehensive. They get a little bit shy. And it's best to try to take things in like small doses. Here, let's create one workflow that will help you out instead of, pushing a big, huge package on them. And this is similar to, there is this business model I've heard about for auto repair shops, right? So like one of the things in auto repair shops is they try to get you to come in for an oil change, right? Because, and if you look, a lot of times they'll do coupons or sales or discounts or whatever on oil changes. And the reasoning is they just want to get you in. They want to get you in. They don't even make any money off the oil change, right? And they will sell oil changes cheaper. Now, part of it is you come in for an oil change, and if they're legit, then an aspect of it is, well, now your car is here. We've opened up the hood. We can take a look at some of the other issues. Maybe we can sell you on some other services, right? And then sometimes the worst ones are making up services that you need, right? Not as good. But then also you need that first like success, even if it's tiny, right? Where, once they see, oh, okay, like you did an oil change, you seemed like an upstanding person, you did point out that I needed a new filter and I needed to have my tires rotated, and that makes sense. And I paid a little bit more than I thought I was going to pay in here, but your shop is clean and you worked really quickly, and yeah, I'm pretty happy. And then the next time around when they have like a big actual issue, they come back to you. And I think that model even though it's like the complete opposite end of the spectrum from AI consultancy, it is really something to really think about, because there is a very similar type of hesitation that people have with finding an auto mechanic and then finding an AI consultant, right? And so I think finding small ways that you can make things better for them and like just have easy little wins it might take you time to kind of build up that way. But I feel like if you go at them too hard and say, here, I got this whole package, it costs $50,000 or $100,000, and we're going to implement a whole AI-wide, solution for your team, that might be a lot for them to take in at once.
100% agree. It's so funny you mentioned that because we had our first conversation with a potential customer. It's a two-person small firm, law firm. And I'm kind of questioning at the moment because we went through their technology stack. We created a pretty detailed audit report of what we think is some of the gap, what are the solutions they could use and where they could save money and a matrix and all that. It's not as great as I'm sure some of the refined consultants have done, but this was just the first thing I used GenSpark with, and it came up with something. But not, my question was that how do we kind of phase that in with the customer? There's some low-hanging fruit, which are kind of almost free. Some of them, they're literally free, which once they get this report, they will be able to utilize right away. We don't get any money for that. And just so you know, like this first customer is a free customer. We actually have it's an easy one because we're trying to get a testimonial instead of money from them. So they're very understanding in that regard because they know they have nothing to lose. But yeah, I'm learning. Thank you for your feedback. I appreciate that.
A couple of things about that. One, even if you just find a tool for them to use, they still need someone to show them how to use it, right? And like the best practices for it. Like, even if it seems simple to you, it's like, oh yeah, hey, like what you guys should start doing is instead of using ChatGPT for your tech-based work, you use Claude. And it's like, oh yeah, you just prompt Claude the same way. It's like, no, you have to show them everything, right? Or it's like, oh, there's this tool out here that you can use that will transcribe your meetings and set up things for you. A lot of times it's like, yeah, you have to walk them through it. You have to show them how to use it and show them best practices and be able to do things. And then also, yeah, I think that it is possible that you do, as we're saying, do some of these free things, show them that, get them, partially it is about getting them to save money, right? And like you're saying, low-hanging fruit, things that will save them time, save them money, so that, well, now they potentially have some extra money. They've seen the value in this, and now it's like, well, okay, like we are saving money. Here, let's start investing this money we've already started saving into AI solutions. And if you're really doing this right now just for that recommendation, then think that, like, again, like their bandwidth, you always, like, if they're like they're lawyers, like their bandwidth is so limited already that like there's only so much they're going to be able to take in at once. And then even again, like someone say, oh yeah, here's this tool, you guys should just start using it. It's like, yeah, they need a setup guide, they need someone to know how to use it. They are not going to take the time to figure it out. It is going to be too much for what their bandwidth is. So I think that there is, a pathway forward with that.
I appreciate that. Yeah, the pricing thing is kind of tricky because it's like, how are we gonna price them? Because it's very easy to price free things. Okay, it's free, so just do things. But I was thinking, what's really interesting is that GenSpark, because I really didn't know. I know I hear ideas and numbers like this, how much you should charge for doing this, but I didn't know for sure. But what's interesting is that this GenSpark, it came up with, based on what we told them, even a pricing model that we should be charging, which was really nice. We could charge that right now, like $5,000, $7,000 one time, and then you can charge like $1,000 per month or something. It seems legitimate for me from a work perspective, but I'm like, okay, we got to price that in slowly so that they get a sticker shock, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think also, so you have to watch out for some of the pricing. It's not like, AI is going to come up with these answers for you that I feel like don't really think about your real situation, right? So like there's this one, right, where it's saying like, hey, you should charge this. And it's like, yeah, I should charge this if you have a thriving business and you have too many consulting jobs to handle, and like really you need to have people paying enough money so that that's like, well, hey, like here, I'm using this as a filtering method. If you don't have this much money, then we can't even really bother with you. If you're not at that stage yet, then it's like, okay, hey, like I can still make money doing this. Like I'm not going to lose money on this. I need to, as you're saying, you need to start establishing yourself and then like having case studies, right? Like showing other clients like, hey, I've already done this. Like, and look what I did for this other client. We saved them a bunch of money. Having a good case study where you've saved people money and you can present that to another client is worth not maybe necessarily charging them $5,000 or whatever AI has told you. The other example that I run into this with is when I ask Claude or GPT to put together a roadmap for me, or a milestone-based roadmap for a dev plan. And it's like, oh, this is going to take 2 weeks. This is going to take, it's like, it's not going to take 2 weeks. I'm going to have you help me with it. This is going to take 2 days. Like, what are you talking about? It wants you to overcharge people, and then it also thinks that it takes forever for you to do coding projects because it doesn't factor in the fact that you're going to have an LLM help you, set up all your coding for you. But yeah, I think that's exciting that you are getting things going. And yeah, like I think that you have a good idea. Start off with somebody for free, give them some simple solutions, try to go after low-hanging fruit, things that will, actually save them time. And then from there, you might be able to start charging them for some more services if that starts to work. And then you have a good case study to present to your other clients.
Yeah, that's the hope.
All right, Carmela or Carmelia? Maybe it's an L. Carmela, are you new to the AI Profit Boardroom into coaching calls? Maybe you can drop something in the chat or your mic, or ignore me. Best solution. And then we have.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. I can't turn my video on because I'm actually at the gym. So.
No problem. I mean, you can turn your video on. It's just going to be a very dynamic video.
There you go. So I'm very new.
Okay.
I mean, I've been doing, dabbling in AI, ChatGPT kind of stuff for about a year, but I'm new into being an AI consultant, looking into that space of being an AI agency.
Okay.
So it sounds like I'm in the right place at the right time, given everyone else. So my background is real estate, mortgages, financial services industry. It's 20 years in that, and been a coach, did productivity training. So I'm trying to see how I can utilize my background and, bring it out to the small business owners, real estate agents, insurance agents, mortgages, and that aspect of it.
Yeah. We've had some other folks pop in who are in a similar, real estate, I feel like is one of the bigger topics that we get people coming in here. It makes a lot of sense. I think that there is a numerical based concept to real estate, right? There is the price of the house, there's the square footage, there's the location. So like there is, and that's already that AI is being used on, what is it, like Redfin or like other, I think I have that right. Who's the
Zillow?
Zillow, that's what I'm thinking, Zillow, right? So like Zillow is using AI to generate the estimated prices for all of these houses, right?
Yeah, and they're part of ChatGPT now too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're a connector, yeah.
Mm.
So that's a really big topic right now amongst agents.
But then really
So,
the question becomes, how do you leverage that?
Exactly, and that's what I would like to, learn from this group and from, you guys, the experts on how to do that.
And there is possibly something that can be done. Like we were talking about this in yesterday's coaching call on a very different topic, but like I wonder if it is, but then also applicable here is this idea of unique, what would they, unique like videos that are directed specifically for somebody, right? And so like potentially you could put together, like they used to do with VR, right? They would do these virtual tours of, and they still do, I'm sure, of where people could do a virtual tour of a house. But now with like, the right platform, you could do something where if you have pictures of your clients, you can show them inside of their new house, right? Like this is what it looks like if you were going to be hanging out on the couch in your new house, playing in the background with your kids at your new house. Like there's a way of possibly, and I don't know, it might be too creepy just yet.
No, I think that's actually a really great idea, because it's like what you're doing is you're creating like a lifestyle. Yes. Right. Let's say there's a big, beautiful backyard with an outdoor grill and a pool, having people around the pool or kids, or, you're having somebody's grilling, it gives you that feeling of, oh, wow, I could see myself doing that, or I would like that in my,
that I can see myself doing that, right? It's like, hey, you don't even have to envision it. Now, it's there. And like, because of, the type of business you're in where it is, high value for each client, right? Like if you, in some of these businesses, it's like, well, each client's worth like $50 to me or something like that. It's like, well, no. Like in our business, it's like if we close, it can be worth, $50,000 or whatever, right? Like it has a much higher ticket price for, I mean, especially in Los Angeles where property values are crazy. And so, yeah, like if you're giving people like these lookbooks and it's like, okay, this is what you would look like inside of this house, inside of that house, anything that can start to shift in that, direction. If it's like, oh yeah, well, we spent $50 or $100 on this, but then our close rate has doubled. It's like, okay, that makes some amount of sense. And then if you heard, people are using GenSpark and Gamma. I feel like these are really good tools for doing decks, presentations, flyers, whatever you need to do to like show people, I don't know what you'd call it, like the breakdown of what the house has. And again, you could do a combination where you're using that to generate presentations, or flyers or whatever, but then you can personalize them by putting actual images of your clients in those houses or whatever, and just starting to personalize these concepts a little bit more. There is definitely
I definitely have used Gamma, or you pronounce it. I do like that program. I have not started using GenSpark. I've seen some of the videos on that. That's my next training that I would like to take on.
Yeah, I mean, they're very similar, right? They're essentially competing in the same space. Gamma is cheaper than GenSpark. I would say I like Gamma better it's kind of weird, for things that are like a page, like what is it, 8.5 by 11, anything that is like that. And then if it's a PowerPoint presentation, I like GenSpark better. I don't know, I was never able to figure out, not that I tried too hard, in getting Gamma to allow me to put my own images in there, whereas GenSpark is a lot easier to put your own images in there, and then you can edit everything afterwards. But that's cool. So you're going to do AI consulting for the real estate industry.
I come from the same world as you. Financial and last 15 years have been real estate banking.
Cool. Where are you at, Justin?
I'm in Central Jersey.
I'm in Pennsylvania.
Awesome. Where at?
Bluebell, Pennsylvania. Ambler, Plymouth Meeting, Conshohocken.
In Monmouth County.
Okay. So you're about an hour north of me. Yeah, we should do like a mastermind group.
Oh my God, totally.
Cool.
I'll message you in the school.
Awesome, perfect.
Awesome. And that's, again, like another reason to join the community and join coaching calls. It's not just to listen to me talk, even though that takes up way too much time. I feel like the best part is actually being part of a community and finding other people that can help you, or at least give some tips on how to use things, right? For me, I didn't use GenSpark or Gamma until I joined and was doing these coaching calls. And then folks on here suggested it, and then I started using it, and it is definitely a time saver. And it's like one of those things where, at this point, most of the people on this coaching call, of course, because we keep talking about it, know GenSpark and Gamma. If you go out and you talk to other business owners, they have no idea what you're talking. It's like, this is some magic wizardry. Probably like less than 1% of the population knows that you can use AI to generate good looking PowerPoints and reports and flyers and things like that using AI. Logan Lightwood, with the alliteration. Logan, I'm almost certain that you must be new. I feel like, again, I would recognize a Logan Lightwood. I know that you were having issues with signing on. How's turning on the mic or dropping something in chat? Going once, twice, maybe. Or Ricky quotes Ricky, I feel like you might be new. You can turn on your mic or drop something in the chat. My 0 for 2.
Hey.
Oh, hey.
Hope you can hear me. Yeah, sorry, I've kind of dropped in quite late, so I've kind of lost the context of the call. I literally joined up today, so it's all kind of like new to me. But you mentioned my name and I answered.
What brings you to the AI Profit Boardroom into the coaching calls?
Yeah, it's a really cool question. So I've been using AI for some time, and I've been, it's been really cool. I've applied it to my businesses and systems and processes, and I think I'm just trying to like upgrade my game and just get better and better. And I appreciate you need really good people who know better than what you do to do that. So yeah, that's kind of why I'm here, really.
Are there any like specific use cases that you're like focused on or you're interested in for AI?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So the space I'm in is kind of creative. So I help businesses with brand and marketing consultancy and that kind of thing, really. So it's not so much the creative side, because I understand how that works in terms of like Photoshop and things like that, but it's more like systems and processes and enabling my teams to become more efficient and my systems and processes to become more efficient. I'm not sure if that makes much sense, but yeah, that's what I'm looking to sort of get out of this more so, I think.
So you're not like trying to create creative assets like images or videos using AI. You're just trying to maybe automate the back end work that you're doing that doesn't actually involve generating content.
Yeah, I think from a content point of view, in terms of creative, I've got a handle on that in terms of how to make that work. It's more looking at how AI develops and what's new and how I can apply that to processes and systems and things like that. So, for example, I have a process for brand in terms of the steps I take. So some of the things I'm looking to kind of use AI for is like onboarding clients, and just making their experience so much better from what it is. So, but yeah, and just really looking to learn and yeah, build out AI kind of systems and processes really.
Cool. Very, very cool. Awesome. I think we've gotten to just about everyone. Sorry, I'm just setting some things up. We don't have much time to get to the, I think I'll just go really quickly through the DeepGram voice to text aspect today. Here, let me get us set up. I need to get my, here, make sure I'm logged in, grab a new API key. Ah, here we go. Okay. So now let me turn on share. Okay. So as I mentioned, DeepGram is a way to do voice to text, right? So I say something, speech to text, another way to say it. They also have text to speech. They do voice agents. And possibly, there's a way to streamline this whole thing. I am just trying to show off like some of these different projects. As you can see, one, they give you $200 in free credits. Pretty cool. So if you want to try out some DeepGram, all you need to do is sign up and you can start using it. I feel like is one of the most accurate speech to text models. The biggest issue you will find is really in the speech aspect where people are just mumbling when they talk, kind of like I do. And then, so I've used this pretty extensively, and it only used up 84 cents. So even, you really need to be pushing a lot of speech to text. I haven't used this a crazy amount, but I've definitely tested out a couple of demoed out an entire set of solutions with this and have barely used up any of it. So it is pretty cost effective. These are, I think, fairly easy models to run. And so that's part of it. And then, so here we've already, as I said, we've gotten a system already. Let me try to show off some of this. This is our voice pipeline. It's got these outputs based on these scripts. And let's see if we can listen to one of them. If you were here before.
Welcome back. Today's topic is absolutely critical. We'll explore AI ethics, machine learning, and the future of technology.
So you can tell, so that we did that with SSML, right? And so when the script was actually created, it created a script that had pauses in it. That's why that feels a little bit more like it makes sense with her cadence, is because she is using the SSML meta tags that put in those pauses and put in those emphases. All right, and so that's the point we're at now where it is generating audio. Let's create, at least really quickly, a tool that will allow us to do speech to text. And then, as I said, it might have an issue with the microphone. Let's see if I can get through that quickly. All right, now give me a script that uses DeepGram to do speech to text. It should record speech to microphone. Also, first, maybe let's say diagnostic script to figure out the right microphone. Cool. And then let me see, it's been a bit since I've looked at this. So we have our core. So it's probably going to go here, and our core is where we would want to put it. And then we've been doing test. So I think, and then also it should also do a test script for me. All right, let me make sure. If it's not going to do that, we're going to be in a little trouble. So great idea. Let's start with the diagnostics, find the right microphone, then create the speech to text script. And I'll tell it, I also need a test script. And hopefully we can get this done in the next like 8-ish minutes. All right, so this will diagnose my microphone while it's coming up with that. And then we'll use that for this. File new, save as, voice pipeline. It's just diagnose, so we should be fine. Boom, and yes. And then Python, pip install. I wonder if that's one of the things it's going to tell me to do. I have noticed that more and more lately when I've been doing some of these vibe coding. It definitely forgets to tell me to pip install certain things. Now, it might be when I come back to it, it's like, oh, you should pip install this. And I just didn't wait for it to give me everything. Input devices available, which device to test. Enter number, press enter for default. Hello, 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 hello. Don't wonder if that's doing anything. Okay, I guess. Oh, play the verify. Okay, let's see, microphone test. Output audio. Hello, hello. Okay, yeah, so that worked. Okay, perfect. So that should get us streamlined. Man, it is going, God only knows what it's making now. Okay, here is the results from the diagnostic script. Create directory. Okay, and then this will take a little bit of time while it figures out. Well, I mean, it had a lot to go with already. I wonder if I maybe should just let it finish. Perfect. That's good. SSD provider for your core directory and a test script. Okay, because that's really what I wanted. Boom. All right. And then how is everyone doing? We're still on the same idea. And then once it's time, do I have an ENV? I do. So I'm probably gonna end up throwing it in there once it is ready. Oh yeah, because what does it do? Recognizer class. So it's got a few different files it's doing, I think. Create DeepGram. Okay, yeah, so this is the DeepGram provider script. Very smart. I forgot to even ask that because we do have our providers here, and then this is boom. So it remembered something. Okay, so I guess the other provider, that was just like whatever. If you remember, so when we originally set up this project, and I think this is a good system to use. And again, like I think that when you start asking for things like this, the LLM knows you're a little bit more serious and starts developing your project better. Basically, so if you weren't here before, these are provider files. Essentially, the idea is that right now I have like 3 different types of AI models that we're using through API. One is the LLMs, so that's like OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini, whatever. Then there is the speech to text, right? And so we have DeepGram, and then we have the text to speech, and then 11 Labs is the one that we're using in Google text to speech. Essentially, what we're doing is we are doing what's called abstracting these away, so that these are not part of our actual core scripts. And what it does is it allows us to easily change these out when we want to. So like instead of having to go in and mess around with our core scripts, instead we can just add new provider files in here, all the different providers. If we want to update to a different model or to a different provider company or whatever we want to do, then we just add a new script here, and then we just tell our core file to just start using that new provider. And it's just good. It starts to standardize everything. It also makes it so our files stay in manageable sizes. It makes our project more modular. And again, I think that it also kind of gives, what would you say, the LLM a better understanding that, hey, we want to create a modular, more well set up project. Okay. And then we have speech recognizer. Cool. And then this is a new file, I think, because this was not part of, yes. File new, save as speech. Hopefully I'm spelling that right. And this is going to go in our core. And then we have test speech recognition file. And this is just going to go here. Then I know that at some point we are going to need perfect DeepGram. Perfect. Yep. Pip install. Oh, okay. And then I need to do this. I wonder why I didn't need. All right. So, all right. I just have to figure this out later. Okay. So let's get that going. And
By the way, I'm designing a site, and one of the top examples that was given was this DeepGram site. It's beautiful, isn't it?
it is a really nice looking site. I think that for sure. Oh, and then this already was set up for this. Yeah, I think that theirs is a cool looking design. And again, like yeah, like let me take a I think, you know, it's got this black and then like the off black. Everything is well laid out. Yeah, and then we'll call this here. Let's only let this last a day, and then we can do another one. API key. Terrible name. You shouldn't name anything that. Create key, and then boom, got it, and boom. Here, let's just go. Okay, and all right. So everything is theoretically. Let's see if we can get it to run right at the very end. Test speech recognition. No. Okay. Close. We are probably going to need 2 finishes, but we're getting closer and closer to this solution. Part of the problem is on Tuesdays, I'm just talking to everybody about things. Although I think that, you know, today is kind of another one of our free days where we don't have as much of a agenda that we have to get to. So, you know, I think that if we want to talk about consulting, we can talk about consulting. But it is 11 a.m. I need to let everyone go. I am going to finish this debug, and then the next time we come back, I'll show everybody what we did here, and then I'll show you that it will now recognize my speech. And then again, we'll add that last piece where it goes speech to text, text to script, script to speech, and then using SSML, and probably have a little too much of a lag. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy AI and automation, everyone, and I will see you on Thursday. We'll do some more N8N, and I think we're getting to video generation with that N8N. Cool.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, everyone.